Hi guys, welcome back to one more episode of It's a DARMAR. From now on I can tell you that we are powered by BenQ and we will be powered, the whole It's a DARMAR stream will be powered by BenQ for next year in 2020. And today I brought one amazing guest that I met on Trojan Horse, was a unicorn Malta. His name is Randy Vargas, and he is an amazing illustrator artist that works in this industry for a long time. I have been fascinated by his work for a long time, and he is freaking amazing. So hello, Randy. I want to talk about your work and you for so long. I apologize that it took so long to organize this.
How are you, no problem, man. Thanks for having me, man. It's cool. I'm looking forward to start with the stream, yeah.
We met on THU. Darko Stojanovic introduced us on THU, and yeah. I was fascinated by your work, how good of a painter and how skilled you are.
Thanks, man.
And then we talked, and I decided to bring you on this stream because I think you definitely deserve to come on this stream and to show and talk about, because I know many people want to hear how you do it, man. How do you do it? So yeah. So you are located at the moment, as I know, in Spain, right? Barcelona.
Yeah, in Barcelona, yeah.
And how is your career developing at the moment? I want to know, what are you working on, if it's possible at the moment, and then we will go through your career and work.
Sure. Right now I'm mostly working on, Magic the Gathering is my main client right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to develop my own IPs and my own ideas on the side.
Good to know. So maybe know a little bit about that IP, what you are doing there.
Yeah. So excuse me, I lost a little bit the trend. Repeat again.
Can you tell us a little bit about that IP? What are you creating? Is it some kind of
novel?
Novel?
Yeah. Right now, I don't have to clear what I want with that, if an illustrated book or a comic book, but something on something like that, something that I can apply, my illustration work or my comic work. But right now I'm mostly writing and doing a small illustration just to see, how the words is visually. But yeah, slowly, because freelance work takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I know. I've been there while I was creating the book. It's painful, man, while you're developing your work and work at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Takes a lot of energy and time and the mental power, which is insane.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated how good of a painter you are, how good you perceive the colors, values, and everything. What I want to ask you, were you drawing as a kid, or that developed in your later years? How did it all start?
Yeah. I've been drawing and painting for my whole life. Back in Cuba, I started in Fine Art Academy, but as a kid, what I really enjoy drawing and all that was what I saw on television, cartoons and movies and all that. But once I started in the Fine Art Academy, everything changed. They make us do this type of art that you see in the galleries and all that, installations and ready-mades and these abstract paintings. And I kind of lost a little bit the interest in painting until I came here to Spain, that I found out about illustration, comic books, and all that, because in Cuba we don't have much interest in those things. So once I find out about illustration and comic, I retake painting and all that, and, just step by step until I got here.
Yeah, it's always not strange. It's okay. Maybe strange is the word, when you find a great artist from the country that doesn't have art, that kind of art that we do, like Serbia, Cuba. There is a lot of guys that do it, but it's like hidden. You don't know where to meet them or anything. And then you come to Europe, to USA, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by communities that do the same thing like you, and you're like shocked. Where did this come from?
Yeah, totally.
It's always strange that. And you said that the school took you to make installations and stuff like that.
Hmm.
uh, I mean, they took you a little bit away from the painting.
Yeah, yeah, it was super weird because even to start in the school, we need to have like a solid background in drawing and painting. We had to do art tests and all that, but then once we started in the school, everything changed. Like everything went more in the conceptual side of the art. This try to sell smoke, like I said,
Yeah,
all this weird shit. But yeah,
yeah, but that's the biggest problems. I think I'm glad that we touched that subject, because I think that's a big problem for any university that's not in USA or Europe.
hmm,
They don't teach you how to sell stuff,
yeah,
and they are
that's
always
true.
selling, because they don't know how to do it. They are selling smoke, as you said. And
Exactly.
yeah, and then you come as a young artist, and you want to be successful, and you want to live from this, to make a living, and then you don't know where to go. So how did it all crystallize for you when you moved to Spain, or how did that happen?
Yeah, when I came here to Spain, mostly learning everything that I could in internet, like YouTube or watching tutorials and all that was mainly the source of my learning how to do everything. Because when I arrived here, I didn't know digital at all. Like learning everything from the start almost,
Yeah.
because as also my background as a painter was like more traditional, like with a life model and all that. So fantasy and sci-fi, it was a bit hard, but was what the things that I wanted to paint. So just step by step and learning wherever I could. Like I didn't take any school here in Spain because they were really expensive at the time,
Mm.
and
Okay, we should.
step by step. No problem.
Okay, we are back. I apologize for that to Randy and to you guys. I don't know. I have a feeling that my operator literally knows when I'm starting the stream, because it breaks every time. Like, I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I will call them tomorrow to fix this finally. So apologies, Randy. We were talking.
No
It's
problem. No
we
problem.
were talking how fascinating it is that you study university. I also studied university, and then we had to learn everything from the beginning, like
Yeah.
like we never studied. So how did you feel when that happened? Because I was quite pissed off when it happened.
Yeah, in my case was a bit different, I think, because like everything that I learned from scratch once I got here to Spain was like really new to me, and I love learning. Like this probably the thing that I enjoy the most. Like, and so when I came here and I find out about everything that I was missing, so I was really excited to just to start learning things. So yeah, no, not so frustrating, but yeah, I can understand your point.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating for me and scary at the same time, because all of a sudden I went to university, and then all of a sudden I learned that I don't know anything. And
Yeah,
it's scary, when you are alone in the field again, and you have to do it all by yourself. But I think it builds character.
yeah, totally.
So you started with vacuum, I suppose, or you immediately went to, no, that back then there wasn't iPads. So you started with vacuum, or how did that go?
Yeah. I just bought a small Wacom tablet and a laptop and start drawing. The first thing I did was comic books. Like when I get here, that was the thing that I really wanted to push. And I found a local publisher, and we signed a contract. But after like 5 years, like that ended nowhere, and I started picking up. I start again with the illustration, and that's when everything start like getting in the right place and all that.
Yeah, it took you only 5 years.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it did. And you work with some really high-end clients at the moment. I am looking at your work and showing Magic the Gathering, the piece Throne of Eldraine, and
Oh yeah.
this is some insane stuff, man. And
Thanks.
how did that happen that clients like Magic the Gathering contact you?
Yeah, well, it was really straightforward. Like since I arrived here, like Magic was like the one company that everybody wanted to get into.
Yeah,
So, like I'm seeing all the artists that work for them was like, a really like a goal that I really wanted to push. And just with the years, I found I looked for how do I get in and all that. So I found in their website they have an email that you can send your work, and just over the time just sending my portfolio, like a couple times, and until they reply back,
yeah.
and I start working with them. Yeah,
So
2016, I think.
how many times did you send email?
Uh, 3 or 4. I don't know. Like every time I have like 3 or 4 new pieces, I send my portfolio.
Yeah, that's very good because many young artists, when they are working or trying to get work, and especially Magic the Gathering or any high client like you did,
Yeah.
they give up after second time and they're like, this
Oh
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
for me. And most of them don't even realize how many times we tried. I am, for example, I when I was trying to be a card designer and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
go over the border, and because of my passport, not quality of work, but I sent in 380 CVs and portfolios in 1 year.
Oh wow.
So that's more than
Yeah.
one letter per day. So I think
Mhm.
that it's very important that people like you that are very high end artists and very successful, to tell them this kind of stuff, because I
Yeah.
think it will open their eyes. Guys, you need to work hard and you need to try. Trying is everything.
Yeah.
So
No wait for the client to come to you. I mean that happens obviously, but you will get there first if you do the first step. I guess.
yeah, definitely. I most certainly agree, because in the beginning it's freaking hard. You have no clue what you are doing.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, you have no clue what's happening. You have no clue how systems work. You have no clue how to get clients. And but trying is everything. Like, you learn on your mistakes and build along the way.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
When you were younger, did you have anything that inspired you specifically to draw? What did you like to
Mm,
draw, paint?
yeah. Well, back in Cuba, we have well, I had like a really small scope of what was going on in the world. So all my influence come from the old master that I had access from books and all that. So mostly that, like the Renaissance people and classical painters and all that was like my main influence back there. And like I didn't grow up with all these pop culture influence that most everybody in the Europe or United States grew up like. That wasn't like really accessible back there. And I sort of have to learn all that pop culture once I arrived here to Spain, and had to do like an intensive course on everything that I was missing, like all the I don't know, Blade Runner, Akira, all these huge IPs that had influenced a lot of generation of artists. But yeah, back then only classical painters or the little things that um, get there from people traveling and all that. But yeah, really small scope.
There was a lot of movie nights, I guess, for you to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
to find out about everything.
yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So you had to learn all the stuff that were accessible to European and USA people. You had to learn it overnight, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Congrats that you did it very fast. Like you did it as a
Yeah, I
homework, and
still doing it. Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy because most people don't appreciate what they have, and now when you tell me this, like I'm like, very interesting, very interesting. And what was your old master? Who did you admire the most?
yeah. I remember back then, like I don't know, like Da Vinci was like a big one for me. Like the whole inventor side. Like right now, looking in perspective, like that's the closest thing that I think right now is concert artist. And the way he invented all this machinery and all these crazy weapons and crazy designs back there in Cuba, that was like crazy for me, like how, how someone can do this. But
Same for me.
Da Vinci, yeah.
I'm
And
sorry for
I don't
interrupting.
know, no, no problem, no problem. Like on the illustration side, I guess like the big painters, especially here in Spain, like Velázquez and Sorolla
Mm.
and artists like that. Yeah,
I also love Da Vinci, and I'm glad that you mentioned him. He is for me number one, like because he was also designer, inventor, mechanical
totally.
engineer, electric. He was everything, and I love it. You said you like you had to relearn the pop culture and everything. And
Mhm.
did you watch Da Vinci Demons show?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
For a
love that
little bit.
show. I love that show,
Yeah.
man. It shows how eccentric he was, like so crazy,
Mhm.
so crazy. You know, young Da Vinci, because we don't know a lot about his young years. We don't learn about them, but it was
Mhm.
fun and fascinating to see what kind of character he was.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm watching here at the work of Rotting Regisauru. I love this work, man. It's I can feel the brush strokes. That's always for me very cool because I don't do that. I don't know how to do it. And what was the hardest thing for you to master to become this good?
Well, uh, I no idea. Like, I don't think that I'm good at all. Like, I still learning. So, um, I don't know. Like, mm, that's a that's a hard question. Like, I
Hmm.
think like lighting, and especially because that's what it was.
Really don't know to what to say. I always feel like so, guys, something is happening with internet, but we are back. It will be seamless transition on the video because it's like that. But I truly apologize for dying like this and everything. As Randy was saying, he doesn't think he's that good, but I will show you his work, his pencil sketches here, which are freaking insane. Randy, what are we talking about? This is like next level stuff for me. So you both paint great and you sketch, guys. Look at this, how good it is. It this what kind of pens do you use to do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I use graphite powder and use a mechanical pencil for small details.
I see, I see. So you start. Okay, I see. Here is the process and everything. You make always the small sketches, as I can see.
Hmm.
Was Were you inspired for that by Da Vinci because always he did the small sketches? That was one of his trademarks, the sketches that he did small ones and
Hmm.
then he goes to a big one. I was always inspired by that also.
Yeah, yeah. That I guess is more like it's something that I got used to in the school, like doing the small composition thumbnail before committing to the bigger piece. That would
Mhm.
take forever, so it's easier to analyze if everything will work or not.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. This is magnificent, man. I really love it, and I remember when I saw it on THU that I was shocked. The quality of the values is insane. The proportions are
Thank you.
insane. Like this one, how did you name it? Echelion fighting Gotmog, if I'm pronouncing it good.
Yeah.
This is for me like some really, really high end work because you understand the values, you understand the composition. This, from my experience, this must have came from the comic book drawings and stuff like that. That you have this kind of understanding of the scenes. Am I correct?
Yeah, I guess the comic really pushed my, my drawing ability, I guess, because I had to paint characters in real crazy perspective and really crazy positions and all that. So I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, you can see, I can see that you can do the storytelling really good, which is very important for every illustrator. Uh, do you want maybe to draw for us now, or we can continue like this? However it works for you.
Yeah, let's sketch a little bit, see what happened.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I know it can annoy you because it's hard to sketch at the same time and talk, but come on, we can share the screen.
Uh, Let me see how can I. Okay,
Okay,
here.
next to the
Uh,
heart in Skype, it's always complicated, you know.
Let
Okay,
me see. You can see it.
yes, we can see.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm putting you on the screen. So guys, Randy is gonna draw for us and he will save me because the stream died 2 times and he's gonna save me now with this. So what do you want to draw for us today? Is it something random or you already have a
Yeah.
subject in your head?
No idea exactly what I want to draw,
Okay,
but yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah.
let's see
I
where this.
have I have few reference an old sketch that I did. This one, let me see.
Mm,
You can see it. So I
yes.
probably want to do something similar to this, but with color and all that. See what happens.
Okay, looks like a very cool sketch.
Let's see.
So I will just ask questions from time to time that you can
Sure.
answer shortly. And how do you start your sketches?
It depends of the idea. If I have a really clear idea, I will probably start like write color, value, everything at the same time. But since I don't know exactly what I want, I probably start in black and white and then start building from there.
So you sometimes start with color, sometimes start with the black and white sketch.
Yeah. It depends mostly how clear the ideas are flowing for me that day.
Yeah. Does the mood also have influence on that?
Sorry.
Does your mood also have influence on that?
No. At this point, like I try to have like the process really sink in for me. Like I don't have to think on the step. So like I don't. It doesn't depend of the mood because at this point, like I can really paint mechanically almost.
Mm.
But yeah.
And you took now the big chalk brushes, I can see.
Yeah, I like to have a little bit of texture to inform the shapes and all that. So a little bit extra information that sometimes can suggest me something that I didn't thought at the beginning.
Yeah. For me, textures are what sells painting to me. Light, of course, values and everything, but when the
Sure.
artist knows to do that kind of textures right, that's a
Hmm.
whole different level for me always.
Cool.
And I think you're very skilled at that.
Thank you.
So, okay, he just lost his arm, guys. That's how you lose your arm. Yeah. So Okay, you are. I can see you are changing all the time from small to big shape, and same as in design.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to get just the idea down to, and then I will start iterating and see what's going on with her design and all that.
And how do you break that in your head? Do you look at it as three values? Do you look at it as lines? How is it broken down in your head while you're doing this?
At this stage, I try to think mostly on the shape, more than values and light and all that. I try to simplify as much as possible all the step that I can make at the time. Like right now, only shape and silhouette, even though anatomy and all that might be broken, but just the idea and the gesture of the figure. And once I have more uh, decided what I want, then I will start cleaning up the shape and bringing some values and lighting and all that.
I see. So it's just simple values at the moment, and it's shapes.
Yeah.
And what are you trying? Okay, you're trying to maintain the shape that you want. You are thinking of, I suppose, the figure, how it's standing, the proportions, and everything.
hmm
And what would be the next step after that?
After this would be working on values for the illustration as a whole.
Hmm.
But really not as a final value, just really close. But because when I bring color, everything will change a little bit. Like maybe I don't know some the way I apply color to black and white sometimes make really radical changes. So I leave room for that and to explore as well with color.
I see. I see. For me, it was always fascinating to see how painter goes from black and white to color. For me, that's always the most interesting step. Maybe because I suck at it. Maybe because I suck at it when every sketch of mine is mostly in black and white. But but for me, that's always a skill for itself.
Yeah, it's really hard. It took me forever to get comfortable with this technique, even though I don't really go to final with this method. This method is mostly to explore, but once I have something that I like, I will start from scratch doing line art and a more procedural kind of process that will give me more clean results at the end, because from black and white, I think that it would be really hard to get like a really end result, like like my magic work. It's really complicated technique. So
I can imagine how complicated it is. It looks so simple, right?
yeah,
And
but it's really hard.
yeah, yeah. I always mention Ryan Church's tutorial,
hmm
and when Gnomon was there, and he did the environment painting, and I remember watching that tutorial, and I mentioned it a couple of more times on stream. And for me, it looked like, oh my god, this is super easy. He is making raster here. He's making, and then I tried it. Jesus, how
yeah,
bad? How bad did it look? It looked horrible. It looked horrible, and until you try, you don't know how hard it is.
totally.
It's but for me, the masters are always the ones that make it seem effortless. Same in sports, the guys that make it look like it's really easy, but it's really really hard to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to ask this question: what is the thing that you hate to paint the most?
What is the thing? Okay. Um, I don't know. Like this past year, I'm trying to push everything that I can. Try to get as different commission as possible, different subject matter, because at this point I don't really have something that I really hate. Like I can I try to see everything as shape, colors, values. I don't try to see as this is a hand, this is a face, but obviously those things are really hard to do because we as a human are used to see faces and hand all the time, so it's really hard to get it um, recognizable to a point that people won't notice something wrong. But I guess yeah, hands and faces are the hardest, but not. I don't hate it. I really like painting those, but I don't know, like hate. That's a strong word.
It
I
is, it
think
is.
so. I don't know, maybe trees.
Oh, trees, yeah, that horrible trees.
But
That
yeah, that's the closest I think.
it's hard to paint trees, man. I tried also to paint them. It's freaking hard. I mean, you can always photo bash them, you know. That's the
Yeah,
easy way. That's the easy route.
yeah.
And what do you think about photo bashing trend that became very influential in our industry the last 5 years? What do you think about it?
Mm, not. I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't have anything against it. I don't use it in my work mostly because for me it's really hard to make it seamlessly in the painting,
Yeah.
and I will spend more time try to get like like it belongs in the image that if I will paint it from the beginning, so I do it everything from scratch most of the time. Yeah.
And
But I
that's
see like it is like a really good resource, and especially if you are doing concert art that you need to do things really fast, that's the best option.
Yeah, unfortunately, the industry has become so fast that 3D kit bashing, photo bashing, you can't run away from it. Like
Yeah.
you need one day to design 5 vehicles or guns, or which is insane. And then
Mhm.
photo bashing, kit bashing is saving you. I always say that I am not a big fan of it, even though I can do it,
Mhm.
but I'm not a big fan of it because somehow for me, today I'm seeing a lot of artists because of that how fast the industry is. I see a lot
Yeah.
of young artists that see photo bashing as a thing where they can run away to
Totally. Yeah.
because it looks much easier, and it is easier, to be honest. It's not easy to make a good design, but to photo bash something it's quite easy.
Yeah.
It was same for me when I had a teacher who was always telling us, guys, it's easy to design a car because everybody can design a car. It doesn't mean it will look good, but everybody can design it. Try designing a chair, or
Right.
try designing a good logo. And it's the same with photo bashing. Everybody can photo bash something, everybody, and it will look okay, but not everybody can paint.
Mhm.
So yeah, and as a true artist you like to paint, which is a skill for itself, you know.
Yes, but yeah, I totally see. Like, I saw a few portfolios in THU this year that it was exactly like that you mentioned just now. Like, young artists that are really pushing into photo watching, even though what they really want to do is illustration. So it's a bit odd to see um, like the things like for me don't mix well, but it's a thing now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And I see you are now starting to add a bit more values to your painting.
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
you start with small pieces, or how does that go? Because I see you start adding it on some small areas and then you started to spread it around.
yeah. Like for me, this step is always really hard to concentrate. So I don't really know what I'm doing at this point because a little bit nervous talking and trying to come up with something interesting at the same time. But yeah, like I said before, like once I find uh, like a shape that I like, I try to stick with it for a while and explore other areas like the face. I think I can work with the face that I have now, and start moving around and see how can I resolve the rest of the piece.
Yeah, don't be nervous because it looks really good. It looks really good, and you're doing amazing job, guys. If you don't know, it's
Thanks, man.
super hard to paint and talk at the same time. So big respect to Randy because he is painting and talking at the same time. That's like skill for itself. I know how exhausted I become when I'm talking and drawing at the same time, which is really 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 hard. So you're doing great, man. And I like his shoulder pad and I like his chest plate. For now, it's very promising. The head also.
Thank man.
And speaking about THU, this was like the first time you were on THU, right?
Yeah, the first time.
So did you enjoy it? Do you think that people should go to that kind of events?
Oh man, that was yeah, that was amazing for me. Like I
Don't don't
only
don't say about the burgers we ate. Please don't talk about that. The one the dark way, the crab.
yeah. So yeah, I only have been in really small events here in Spain, and TSU was completely different. Like I feel like the community that I always listen everybody talking. I had never experienced like I did in THU, and that was completely new to me, and that was amazing. Like I can't wait to the next year.
You're going next year there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also going.
definitely.
Let's go to Japan also. But
Yeah.
you know where we will see each other probably 99% in non-stop Barcelona.
Oh yeah, you coming?
99% yes. So,
Cool.
so we will see each other in Barcelona. I never saw Barcelona. I never visited Spain. I'm sorry to say that, but I never saw Madrid. I never saw Barcelona, and I have a strong need and I want to visit.
Awesome.
And I want to come to Nonstop, guys. If you don't know what is Nonstop, it's an event in Barcelona, and check it out on internet. I'll post the link in chat. You will be coming also to Nonstop, right?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be there. Yeah.
I hope you will be as a speaker.
We'll see.
If someone is listening, please, guys, call him as a speaker. He deserves definitely. And okay, so this painting is starting, illustration painting is starting to look very nice. And for me, this is always the most interesting step when I see, because when I look at the sketches of an artist or croquis like this or anything, for me that shows me how the artist is thinking. And you can polish the painting forever as you like, but now what you're doing, this is one of the hardest things to do. And
Yeah.
I see you started painting the background. Do you immediately think about it, or you on the go do that?
Right now I just need I'm trying to think in the in the contrast and the lighting, just to help me to figure out the spaces that I need to fill, so to speaking, like all this area in the corners and below, because the idea with her that I'm thinking is to have it to have her like a spirit or some sort. So I want like the lighting coming from behind and uh, like transpassing the figure of having some transparency in her, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're starting to think about the light and everything immediately, so you know where it's coming from. And do you proceed always with the because there are two type of artists for me: the ones that proceed with shadow and the ones that proceed with the strong light. Which one are you?
Yeah, most of the time I do like a planning before I start a painting, like, but for this piece no, because it's like more like just sketching on the go. But for my more professional work, I always do like I do in my sketchbook. I start writing all the important notes of what the clients needs, and I start to distilling. If I need like a strong lighting or more shadows, and try to divide the piece in 70% shadow or light or that kind of stuff. So it depends on the piece.
I see. And today we will do this, I hope, in black and white, because I love black and white. So I hope it will stay in black and white.
Cool.
And I hope you'll paint my face there with goblin ears, because
Cool.
because I always need goblin ears on the paintings of me. Yeah, this is looking very interesting. And speaking about references and stuff like that, you analyze, I suppose you analyze a lot the existing stuff. When you're starting your drawing or painting, do you search for many references, or you already have them in your mind how it's gonna work?
It I guess well, the same depends on the piece. Like sometimes it is something that I had drawn like before. It's easier because I already have that in my head. But when it's something new, like like that, the zombie dinosaur that I saw earlier, like I had never painted a dinosaur before. Or I did, but not as a zombie, so I had to look for a lot of reference for that. So yeah, it depends on the piece, really, like whatever I need. But I try to find a lot of reference before I start, just to go, up, just to have a clear mind, a clear idea in my mind for where I'm going.
And how many? There is always a question about magical brush. Which brush do you use? So
Yeah.
because artists always think that it's all about the brush. I want to know, how many brushes do you use?
I have this
There,
pack.
okay, there is a lot, but how many do you really use? That's my question.
From this one that I'm using to this one, so maybe 10 brushes.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't have like a favorite one. Like I start jumping around, especially more advanced. Right now, it doesn't really matter because all this will disappear um, when for the final piece. This is just to find the idea, so it doesn't really matter what brush I'm using right now. But yeah.
So yeah, there is that question. I had to ask it because
No
artists
problem.
always think about what brush do you use, man, or which software do you use.
Yeah.
It's all the same, guys. So it's just the skill. When you can paint with the pencil, you can paint with any tool, literally. And do you use 3D? That's my question. Or you are
I
hardcore 2D?
I tried. I mean, I'm really bad at 3D, so I'm just like, for example, I need a dragon in a real perspective, and I try to sculpt and ZBrush, or whatever I have at hand, like a really quick sculpt, really dirty and really badly, because that's what I need at the moment, and just put it in keyshot and some lights on it, and that's all. Like I don't use 3D directly in my work, only to build my reference, like I don't know, my perspective, like if I need to do like an entrance of stairs or something like that. But yeah, I'm trying to learn, but I need to find the time first.
It does help with value, right? It does help with value
Yeah,
and everything with shapes, but then there is a problem. How do you mask it? How do you get away from 3D? Because if
yeah,
it's something in between, it never works, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
this piece is getting along really nice. I like how there is detail starting to appear,
Let's
and
see.
yeah, I like it very much. And as you can see, you are painting in a really small image.
Hmm.
That's why are you doing that?
Yeah, because the moment I start zooming, I start detailing everything that I see, and I'm trying to stay, in the general form first, and once I have everything a little bit more clear, then I will start zooming and adding details and all that. Yeah.
It helps you see the values and everything much easier, right?
Hmm.
And the proportions. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
But do you flip the image? Because I didn't see you flip the image. You don't flip image that much.
At this point, no. More, later in the piece, I will do it more often, because when I start doing more detail work, it is easier to start working forever and not focus on the whole of the piece. But at this point, is I try to find the idea still, so not really. But yeah.
Yeah. It's much easier when you're painting smaller because it helps you see everything, and then
Yeah.
when you flip the image, you see all the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm designing something, I even flip it vertically. I flip it so much so I can see it from every angle.
Cool.
Yeah, it shows me the if something is wrong. It's crazy how much the brain can get used to one view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you're using 3D, do you take out couple of concepts and then sketch over them, a different perspective, different views, or how exactly do you use it? That's my question.
Um, it depends. Like for example, I recently did like a piece for a new course for station learning, and I had to do like two dragons, and so in I'm I'm decent with the with anatomy, so I only need like the heads because they were in a really weird angle,
Mm-hmm.
and just did like a really quick sculpt of the head and just put it in the angle that I needed, so I didn't have to spend like I don't know a couple of days just trying to get the head right. Um, Mostly like that. Like sometimes I just take a dash model and put it in the post that I need and put some lights on it, and that's enough for me to get the information I need. Just start painting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. I like how there are bigger strokes on the bottom because you're laying it out, and we can see tidier strokes on the top.
Hmm.
And next step would be probably the shadows, I suppose, and everything. The light is starting to appear, but you're gonna start tidying up, I suppose.
Hmm. Yeah. At this point, I still don't know how the light will work because I want her like to be a little bit translucent, but you know, thinking on it as I
Yeah.
go.
Okay. I would, guys, I would like to leave him just paint because I think it would be better that I don't talk, but that's not the format of the show, so I have to talk. I apologize for that.
No problem.
And when you're doing strokes, how are you thinking about them? Is there any logic behind them? How you do them? One angle, another angle? How does that go?
Um, Never thought of of that. So I guess it's more like you know whatever is easy for my head at the moment.
Mm. Because I like when they're blending, as I said, and your images, you can see that very nice. And I was always wondering if there is some logic how you do it,
Hmm.
but
Not really.
it's unconsciously, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there. And you're painting with a Wacom A4 right now at the moment.
A what?
You're painting with Wacom, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, and it was I don't know what year it was, but the one without the screen. I don't like a screen.
Yeah, yeah. The famous Wacom. Everybody starts with it. And do you use Procreate or stuff like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love Procreate. Uh, I try to switch because if I would love to do more traveling, but without a workstation that I can take with me is really hard. So I'm trying to move a little bit more to Procreate on the iPad, but still I still go way too faster in Photoshop, and you know little by little. But yeah, I would love to just to move completely to Procreate. That
Yeah.
would be great.
It would be much easier because you would have only one tablet, the small one, and you would carry it with you. You wouldn't have to carry the whole computer on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel ya, man. I'm trying also something now to avoid working on the big computer, but desktop is desktop for me, and
Oh
I
yeah.
and I think it will always be.
Hmm. Totally.
And I wanted to ask you from the beginning, but I forgot. What are those two add-ons that you have on the right?
Which ones? This two?
Yes, yes, that too.
Okay, the first one is a plugin. I think you can find it for free. That it will help. When you have, I don't know, right now it's black and white, but suppose that you can have like this red, and it will help you to find a cooler version and a warmer version of that color, also lighter or darker.
Nice.
Um, and the one below is colors. This color wheel thing. This is I don't know. I think it's 10 euros or something like that, but it's really useful. I prefer this one over the Photoshop one, but it's the same.
Yeah, it's like a Coral Painter one, and it's much better because it's a triangle, and it for me it works also much better than the
Yeah,
Photoshop one.
it also have like a different version that you can give you analog colors and all that kind of things, but I usually don't use it. I only use it just to pick it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, those kind of add-ons are always nice because they help you out quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of simple small tricks
Mhm.
always help the artist. Is those things that she's holding? Is it gonna be two swords, or it's gonna be two flags or
Yeah,
spears?
to sword.
Okay, okay.
Let's see. I work a little bit more in the background now.
Okay.
Mix of feelings, like that was probably one of my worst times as an artist, because I wasn't making that a lot of money, like none at all, and I was really stressful, like start losing hair and everything, because that was really stressful times.
Yeah.
But on the side, like I learned like a lot, and probably everything that I know now come from there. So, you know,
Yeah,
50-50, yeah.
every artist loses their hair at some moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy how, well, I mean, this industry is hard by itself, but losing hair is a thing for itself, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see that your painting is progressing. We
Hmm.
have around 10 more minutes to finish this. I will prolong it because of everything, but yeah, it is very looking very cool so far, and I like how fast you are. I know that I'm bothering you to do this in a very fast time, but unfortunately the show is at that size, you know.
No, no problem. No problem.
So tell me, I want to ask you for the end as you paint
Hmm.
and as you finish this, what is the advice that you would like to give to any artist out there who is working and trying to build a career?
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Mm, tough one.
Tough one.
Yeah, because there is so many things, like you know take your time, I guess. Like that's probably the hardest, like this time that everything is so fast, and you want to start working, like you want to earn money already with your work, but the skill level aren't there yet. So take your time to really learn and really explore what you want, and then start trying to make money out of that. Because if you rush into pro work, if that, because most artists, young artists, start doing commission for like crazy money, like $60 or something like that. That's crazy. Don't do that. Take your time and learn, and then when you are ready, start looking for work, I guess.
And what is the thing that you would like to change the most if you were starting all over again? What is the thing that you wouldn't do?
Wouldn't do. Probably go to school.
That's a bad advice, Randy. That's a bad advice.
No, that's the best advice I can give you. Like, don't go to school and just learn for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always, up for the school, but unfortunately, sometimes it proves that it's quite wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
If my parents heard me now, they would kill me probably. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, the schools. I don't know. Speaking about that, we already talked, but before we finish, I would like to that thing. The biggest problem for me with schools is that you are taught by people who are not anymore in the industry. Last time they worked in the industry was 20 years ago, or they never worked,
Yeah.
and you don't learn anything new. And the industry is changing fast. It is
Hmm.
insane how fast it is. That's the first problem. The second problem is that most of the concept artists go to graphic design. Even me, who was trying to do car design, I went to graphic design because that was the only thing that somebody knew to tell me. You know, they were
Yeah.
like, "You want to be a graphic designer?" Still today, everybody thinks I'm a graphic designer, which I'm not, obviously. But that's when you don't have the people don't know, so you need to teach them. And but today the courses are doing really good.
Yeah.
The courses can teach you a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. Like you can learn everything that you want to learn from internet. Like, you know, schoolism, station learning, all these platforms that are growing and they aren't that expensive at all. Like going to school right now is like it will, take a lot of money and probably give you some debts and all that. But you can learn everything from, your desktop and for really cheap. So
Yeah,
you can grow at Patreon, everything.
yeah.
So
Uh, as I can see, you are giving him color. You duplicated the layer, and now you gave it the color.
yeah,
And you will change the layer, I suppose. What are you gonna do with it?
yeah, trying to work on the transparency that I want for her, like to look more like a ghost.
Ah, okay,
So
okay.
so yeah, right now I'm not sure if the like I was painting or inverted. I don't know. Trying to figure out.
That was a nice trick. I like how I saw that. I like how it looked. It's a very interesting trick.
Thank you.
So, where will we see you next year? And we wrap up this stream that unfortunately died 3 times, and you will shoot me for it, and everybody will. So, where will we see you next year? THU is one place. Nonstop Barcelona is the second one.
Yeah, and IFTC. I will be there for sure this year because Marco invited me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm planning to do a lot of magic shows, but that's more specific to the magic community, I guess.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you will go to Croatia. Then you have to visit was in Serbia. We will be expecting you here to show you around the Belgrade.
Nice. Cool.
Then we have a deal. So, guys, Randy painted as a ghost, and it's crazy how fast he can paint and talk at the same time. Because, as I told you, it's freaking hard. And Randy, thank you for joining my stream, and thank you for being patient with my stream, because today internet decided to quit on me 2 times.
No problem, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see you somewhere around the world.
Same.
So that was, guys, Randy Vargas. He's an amazing illustrator, painter, and I wish you a good night or a good day. I don't know what's time at your place. And Randy, same to you. And we talk very soon on the next episode with another guest. See you around, Randy, and see you guys.
See you. Bye.